All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Marvel Legends figure review. Today, as you can see, we're going to be taking a look at our first figure in the Marvel Legends series Secret Wars wave. And I'm very, very excited for this. And we're going to be starting off with the one that I'm probably the most excited for, being this Captain America. Now, personally, I have the 80 years Captain America, but I really wanted this one because I missed out on I believe it was the 20 years Marvel Legends, where he has a much more vibrant kind of comic booky color scheme to his actual costume, whereas the 80 years one is very Alex Ross and very muted, very dark, much more realistic, whereas this is much more comic accurate, we'll say. So I'm very excited to have more of a vibrant, more comic accurate cap on my collection, on my shelf. I'm very excited to take a look at these figures. This wave is very weird to me. Initially starting off, I figured, oh, this is really dumb. They're just doing 2 new figures, and the other 4 are all essentially re-releases. This is just molded in a different color. The Iron Man just has a couple more accessories. The Spider-Man is literally just the same figure with a different deco. The Wolverine one is actually kind of different. It's very similar mold to the X-Men 97 figure, but it's a different costume. There's a different head sculpt. There's multiple different head sculpts and things like that. So initially, it kind of bothered me, and which is ironic because I only picked up the actual 4 re-releases. The other 2 I might pick up if I see them at like Ollie's or something. Anyway, we're starting to tangent a little bit. But I like this because for collectors who you should always have characters, like the main characters, like Cap, Wolverine, Iron Man, Spider-Man, like that. They should always be readily available. And this wave kind of does that. So there's going to be another Cap, another Iron Man, another Spider-Man, another Wolverine for people to get, because they always should be on shelves for people to get, because they're the mainstays of the franchise. So I'm very excited to see this figure out of the box. I'm going to stop rambling and get him out so we can take a closer look at him. All right, and here's Cap out of the package. Look at all the accessories you get with him. That's one thing I'll say about these Secret Wars figures. You get a good bit of accessories. You get the bang for your buck. It's nice to go back to that kind of feel of getting all these accessories with a mainline Marvel Legends figure. At the normal MSRP $24.99. It's so nice to get that because it feels like we get it so rarely. But I feel like maybe because this was kind of like an anniversary kind of release or an nostalgia release, they decided, let's go a little bit more out, because this is great. You get all of these. You see the price of admission here. You get a lot for what you're paying for, and I really like that. And getting a closer look at this Cap figure, I gotta admit, I really like it. I mean, it just feels like it's the same as the 80 years Cap. Essentially, like you can see here, I have him with me, except for obviously a different head sculpt. But essentially, it's the same figure with some minor changes. We'll go over that a little bit more in the size comparison. But it's a great figure. I like this figure a lot. My only real gripe with it is I do kind of I don't like it when they have his eyes like that, because you can barely see them in there. I wish I guess the eye holes were a little bit bigger. So that's more of a nitpick. It doesn't look bad at all. It's just kind of a personal little preference nitpick there. I would have liked to see him on the more like Renew Your Vow style body that has the diaphragm and the U joint, because this does work, but I would kind of like to see. And you could make this cut right here at the end of his chainmail essentially be where you would have the diaphragm, and then you could do the U joint, but it doesn't ruin the figure at all. My biggest gripe with this figure, because like I said at the beginning of the video, I like that these are essentially another way for collectors to just, maybe not just collectors, maybe just casual, like kids or whatever, can go in a store and get their favorite characters, these classic, evergreen characters. My biggest issue is probably the shield. Whereas I like the shield. The shield's really cool. It looks awesome. You have all this like really cool detail of all the cracks in it, all these chunks taken out. You even get the 2 little pieces of the shield here. Very Endgame inspired to me. It makes me think of Endgame a lot. But this is the only Cap shield you get, so if you are someone who doesn't have a Captain America in your collection, and this is your only one, then you're not getting a proper, shield. Now, for someone like me or other collectors out there who have multiple Captain Americas, and I want to display him with that the proper non-damaged shield, which, I don't know, I'm still debating. I like the shield, but I do like this color scheme. I might just display him with this one. It's not an issue for me, but for someone who maybe doesn't have one, other than this cap, you're not really going to be able to display him with the proper shield. So that's my one big issue with the figure. Again, it doesn't kill the figure for me. It's still a really cool figure. I mean, you are getting a lot. I already obviously went over the shield. You get the classic staple of this whole wave, the Secret Wars lenticular shield, which is a throwback to the original 80s. I believe it was Kenner or Mattel, one of those two toy lines. It goes from Cap to Steve, which is really cool. And then you can, I don't know if many people are going to do this, but they come with this little Secret Wars insert you can put into the shield, so you can there's this little kind of notch here at the top. You can just get your fingernail in there and just pop it open, pop that out, and then you can just stick that in there. And then you got the Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars 40th anniversary one. So cool. And it's like pretty much every other cap. You have the kind of clip post mechanism where you can clip it on his hand. You can just see, just have it. You can put it on Alder like that. And then you can also have him obviously with the damaged shield here. Yeah, it looks pretty cool, actually. That does, let's get his head everywhere. That does look pretty cool. I do kind of wish it was, again, this is just personal preference. I kind of wish this broken part was at the top. I think that would look personally better. I'll have to fiddle with it later, but it doesn't look too bad. It looks pretty cool. And he does have, as you can see, interchangeable heads. Just move these guys over here. You get more of the neutral, we'll say, I guess, happy cap. Is that how we want to pull it? Smiling cap. Typical Steve Rogers. And then we do have this angry, you could say, determined, ready for, come on, get on there. Determined, ready for battle. That was tough. Determined, ready for battle cap. And it looks good. It looks really good, too. Both head sculpts look really, really good. And then you have, I'm just put this other one back on there. I don't like Cap being angry at me. I like Cap smiling at me. Makes me feel safer. Anyway, so we get all of these hands with him. He comes with, obviously, the standard fists. He comes with these, which I kind of don't know why. They're kind of just, grabbing hands. But he doesn't really come with anything for you to grab. So maybe he can hold, I guess he can hold maybe the pieces of the oh no, because I don't know if they're supposed to be like that, but they are kind of molded together there. Is it on this one too? Yes, this almost looks like he's meant to hold something. I don't know what. I don't know. But so more display options, so options are always great. And then we have the pointing hand, the pointing ready for battle, charge this way kind of hand that most caps come with. Pretty cool. And then we obviously, another cap staple, we get the salute hand. All right, we cleaned things up a little bit. Now we're going to take a look at Cap's articulation here. It's pretty standard for normal Marvel Legends fare that have this, heads on a disc hinge, actually, which, as I said before, I prefer. You can kind of maybe see it. Yeah, there you can see it. So you can look up, decent bit, down a lot. There's a little bit of head wiggle right there. Not the most, but it's pretty good. 180 on the head there. Arms can move out. Full 360. Bicep swivel. You got the double jointed elbows. Wrist swivel. All the wrists are on hinges, so you can Do that as you like. He's got, like I said, the old school kind of standard diaphragm, which does give a good range of motion. You can crunch that far forward. And that was almost ratcheted. Crunch the back far back, which is pretty good. He does have waist swivel, which just the only real issue is, again, with this, most characters like this, just the belt might get in the way. You just have to move it like up or down so you can do it properly. Legs can kick forward that far, back a tiny bit. You can do the splits, thigh rotation, double jointed knees. You've got boot rotation. Feet can go up, down, and they can, in fact, pivot. So overall, kind of standard, normal articulation for a Marvel Legends figure. Nothing too crazy, nothing too off the wall, but it gets the job done. It does what you need it to do. All right, now let's get to some size comparisons. We'll start off with his fellow Avenger. Let's see him next to Thor here. See how... I'll have to raise up a little bit, because Thor's a tall boy. Thor is a tall boy. So there he's next to Thor, and then we'll have Iron Man here. And they look very good together. They look really cool together. Dang it, Thor. That's my one issue with this Thor figure, is that cape can kind of make it a little bit tricky to keep him standing, but his Iron Man kind of looks a little bit smaller than I would expect. Now, maybe it's just me, but he does look good with them. They all look really cool together. So there's those. Now, since I don't have the one from this wave ready yet, here he is next to this is the Juggernaut Build-A-Figure Wave Brown Suit Wolverine, and he's about properly statured to him, so that scales pretty well. And then why not, let's throw Spider-Man in here so you can see how they look together. And we'll do some foreshadowing. Let's see how he looks next to the symbiote Spider-Man. And he looks really good with them. He looks really, really good with them. He fits in very well. He feels very, like I said, I like this more comic booky color scheme. I just think it works for this mold. And I don't know if I like it better, but it is nice to kind of have both. And speaking of, probably the comparison that most people want to see and most people are excited to see and most people are going to ask about, we have the Marvel 80 Years Captain America. Like I said, I don't have the 20th anniversary Marvel Legends cap to really compare it with as well, but it basically looks the same as this one. So yeah. And I don't know, see, seeing them together, I do kind of like this more Alex Ross head sculpt better. And I do like that the middle stripe is red, but if I had to choose one, I don't know, that's going to be... I might give the edge to this one, but I am glad I have both of them in my collection. I wouldn't want to get rid of either one of them. All right, and giving final thoughts on this guy, he's a great figure. He's a really good figure. He's based on a really good figure, so there shouldn't be any surprise there. Definitely a great figure if you don't have a Captain America, or if, like me, you only really had that 80 years cap. So this is a really good kind of comic version to have on your shelf in your collection. And he looks really good. He looks great with the other Marvel figures. He's got the good posability. He's got a lot of really good accessories. So yeah, for being a normal, MSRP, normal wave. I guess it was not really a normal wave. It was more of an anniversary wave, but you know what I mean. For being a standard Marvel Legends figure coming with all the accessories he does, he's more than worth it. I love this figure. I'm really happy I have it. I ordered mine, like you're going to hear me say a lot, from Big Bad Toy Store. I love Big Bad Toy Store. I use them all the time. Their customer service is awesome. Not sponsored. Wish it was. But I don't... You can probably find these fairly easily online. I don't know. At least around me, none of my stores have them. Target got them in one time, and that was about it. But yeah, if you can find this guy for a decent price, pick him up. He's a great figure. That's going to be all for me. I hope you guys have an awesome day. Thanks for watching. feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you are so inclined, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace and love, everybody.